Hey, this is Lauren with TMF Apparel USA, and today I'm going to go over a couple of the must-have items if you're going to own and operate a DTG printer. These are essentials that you want to have on backup so that you can keep your printer up and operational. Now, I've been running DTG for about 9 months. I started with the FreeJet 330, and back in November, about 3 months ago, I bought this one used off of Marketplace in my area when my FreeJet went down for maintenance. My FreeJet ended up needing a sub-power board, a main board, a print head. It was kind of a mess, what ended up happening with it, and a pump. So all of those things took my FreeJet down for the count for about 3 weeks. In the meantime, I was selling a bunch of t-shirts. It was the holidays, so I went and picked up this guy here, knowing almost nothing about it, and kind of learned as I went. And since then, I've replaced a few parts in it as well. So I'm going to go over a couple of these things that you may need to keep yourself printing and productive. First on my list are dampers. Dampers are basically one-way filters that filter the ink between your ink cartridge or ink tank and your print head. Inside of here, there's a little filter. You can kind of see it through this way. And that one goes directly into the top of the print head, and your ink line goes into this side. Now, yours may not look like this. This is the one out of the Epson R2400, and also fits the, I believe, the 1800 as well series. Now, I have bought some replacements that fit this printer, and they look like this. Boom. Found these online. I bought a 10-pack for about 20 bucks. This one here, directly from Omni, is about $15 individually. You can look at them and see there are some subtle differences. However, they do the same thing. We have a chamber where the ink goes in, and we have a filter where the ink goes through it and then comes out the bottom. These will both go in your printer. I haven't run into any ill side effects in doing this. This one obviously is a little bit wider, might contain a little more ink, but your printer is still pulling ink straight through the dampener, so it shouldn't really affect it at all as far as ink flow, as long as the screen allows it to properly filter out. Now, what happens over time with the white inks is that little screen there is going to get kind of boogered up and blocked. So you're going to get less flow through your print head, which is not ideal. So keep an eye on these. These are replaceable units, and they're also consumables. So they don't last forever, maybe every few months. If you're printing a lot heavier, if you're printing 100 shirts a day, you might need to do these more frequently, but you can find them online, and I can put a link in the description for those. Now, if you're wondering where they're located in the printer, this is my FreeJet. They are on top of the print head. Each one of these has an individual line going into it. This would be the same on your R2400 Epson as well. Some of the other Epsons are going to run the same setup, and they just pop in and out. There's usually a little metal plate right here that kind of holds them down so that they don't come out. But once they're in there, I mean, it does take a little bit of effort to remove them. There is a little nut right there with a washer in it that seals it to it, so make sure you do not lose the little rubber O-ring that goes in there. And changing them is pretty easy. Now, when you change them and you want to prime them, go ahead and put some ink in them. Just take your syringe into the bottom, pull ink through the outlet. Don't try to push ink through the inlet, as these are one-way units. If you force it through there, you can end up damaging it, and it's going to allow ink to go backwards from your wet capping station into your dampener, and then you're going to have the wrong color ink in the line. Sometimes it's going to be kind of muddied up. So to do that, you should have a syringe with a little nipple on it, kind of like so. See if it'll focus on that. This one has some blue ink on it. I'm not really too concerned about that. And what you're going to do is, once your line is connected, put it in the bottom and pull the ink through it this way with slight pressure. It will not take much for the ink to come out. The next thing you're going to need are some of these little foam swabs right here. These are great for cleaning your print head, cleaning your wet cap station, just all around your printer. They are solvent free. It will not be affected by it, won't get broken down, and they absorb a good bit of your cleaning fluid. I also buy these by a pack. I'll put a link on Amazon to these as well. You get a pack of like 20 of them for, say, 10 bucks. They're really not too bad. Excellent to have around for cleaning your printer. It's really soft, so it's not going to scratch anything on your print head if you're cleaning around the bottom of the head. I'm going to show you that as well. This is a removed print head from the Epson. You would use this guy to clean up inside of here, clean all around your capping station, but more importantly, you would clean the bottom base of this. As you print, you're going to get ink buildup right here along the bottom of that, and around the edge. So you can use that. You do not have to remove the print head to clean it. You can absolutely get to it once you undock it from your wet cap station in the printer. Dip this in some solvent and keep this area here nice and clean. Now, they're going to say you do not want to touch the actual print head here. This has a bunch of little lines in it, and you can see them right there. You can see those lines. Those are actually where the ink is coming out of this print head. Little bitty dots, you know, so if you have one that's 720 outlet or higher, I mean, that's a whole lot of little bitty holes that come out of there. And what they don't want you to do is this right here. They don't want you to touch it. Now, if you do touch it, it's not the end of the world. If your print head gets a head strike while it's printing, it's going to take ink and smear it over. You don't want that. But if you did have some buildup on there, if you were looking under there and it looked kind of white or hazy because the spray has gotten a buildup, running a head clean in your printer is going to take that little rubber wiper blade and it's going to do just like this as it goes across it. You can dip one of these guys in some cleaning fluid and you can clean the head because it's not going to scratch it because this is really soft and foamy. Don't use anything abrasive, and after you do that, still run a head clean on your machine. It is important that you do that. Now, this is something that I came across when I was having printer problems and didn't really understand exactly why, is this pump. This is the pump right here out of, let's look at that guy, out of the FreeJet. So the R2400 is what this pump came out of. And what happens is your print head will actually come in and dock right here, like so, on this little rubber gasket, right? So that's where it comes and sits. And when we wet cap our printer, this is full of fluid, and it sits right there so that there's fluid on the bottom of the head, which stops that from drying up. Those little itty bitty droplets from drying up and clogging your print head. Also, when you run a head cleaning, what it's doing is your print head is sitting on here, and it's sucking ink straight through this, straight through the little wet cap, out these lines into your waste container, right? So what happens is these guys can get clogged up in here, so you want to keep it clean. And again, to clean that, you're going to use this little guy here, foam roller, and we are going to just go around and clean all of the rubber, clean this guy, little wiper blade, make sure it moves freely in and out and around it. That is important, that all of that moves easily. This one here is out, and I can show you how you can manually move it right here. On the FreeJet, there is a little screw Phillips head, and we can turn this one way or the other, and we can actually rotate it and see it move, like so, right? So the wet cap station, if you notice, it kind of moves down, releasing the print head. Wiper blade moves over, your print head would be able to move out of the wet cap station, and when it goes back in after it's done printing, it goes this direction, up, and seals to that print head. Now, if this pump starts to fail and starts to really struggle on moving ink, you're going to be running head cleanings and go, why doesn't my print head have a good nozzle check? Well, if this gets clogged up right here, usually on the white side, it cannot suck the fluid through the print head anymore. And what I had happen to me was I didn't realize that my wet cap station was starting to fail, and my print head over time just got worse and worse. All my nozzle checks weren't printing well. I was having issues with my colors not printing well, and it ended up being the pump. Now, second to that, I was also getting some error messages and some grinding noises out of my FreeJet. I'd power the printer on, and what would happen is this guy here doesn't fully move out of the way, right? So if we rotate this, maybe it gets stuck a little bit because it's a little bit dirty. But if it gets stuck and your print head can't exit this, it's going to make this god-awful grinding noise. And I believe I have a video I can attach to that. So I didn't have a video of the actual noise, but this is the error that will occur when that happens. What happens is that kind of locks your printer down. You have to turn the printer off, turn it back on, and usually that will reset it. It'll rotate itself back into position and redock the head. It is an extremely frustrating experience to happen. And honestly, when you're printing something and you hear that sound, it is the worst sound you could hear. So what I ended up doing was buying a new pump and replacing it. And that solved that problem. So on the FreeJet, as you can see, I have my top hood off, and the side panel, I got some pieces off of this so we can easily see it. That pump is right inside here. The piece I was turning is right there. On the FreeJet, if you ever have to manually move your print head, right here is where we're going to turn it. It's got a little arrow. You put a little Phillips head screwdriver in there, and you rotate it, and that will undock your print head. And to get that off, there are some videos out there about it. You're basically going to remove this guy here, this little bar. It's got about maybe 6 screws in it. Take this off. Print head's already out of the way. Undo your lines. Unplug it from the back. It's got a big long ribbon cable. And there's about 4 screws that hold this whole pump in. And it comes out. I've changed the pump in about 10 minutes. It's really not a very difficult job to do, but you know, take your time. Like I said, I can make a video about it. I know I found another one that showed how to do it. Also how to take it out of the regular Epson 2400. Now, I don't know how many of you have an air wren, but on the air wren, everything is pretty much the same, with the exception of undocking the actual print head, which is right here. I have this little knob. I can roll this forward and back. That will raise and lower the wet cap station in this one. And I've actually replaced the pump in this one as well. I've taken off this side, and this one was a lot easier to get to, being that I have it all apart as well. And that was quite... Now, the last thing you're going to want to have on deck is various cleaning solutions so that you can properly clean your print head, clean your printer, clean your wet cap station, clean your lines if needed. And these are the ones that I have used, and I've had pretty decent success with them. So I'm going to show you those right now. I've used this cleaning solution. This is kind of a general purpose cleaner. I've used DTG Magic for the Epsons. They sent me one for Ricoh. Didn't see a big difference. And then isopropyl alcohol. And lastly, some purified water. Now, I have found if your print head is severely clogged and you cannot get it to print a decent nozzle check and your wipes are just jacked up, worst case scenario, pull the print head out, soak it in some water. Don't bury it in water. You just need a little bit so that that bottom plate sits in some liquid. I've also heated that up. In my professional experience from the other stuff that I've done in my life, hot beats cold all day. If you want to dissolve something, hot water will do it. I take a little bit of purified water or some of the cleaning solutions, pop it in the microwave for 30, 40 seconds, warm it up, and let it break down those inks. That's what it needs to do. If you need to let it sit in some water for 10 minutes, that's great. If you're going to go down the other route and waterfall your print head, you have to be super careful with that, as you can easily allow plenty of fluid to flow through it and it will not work at all. So I can do a video about waterfalling the print head, as I have made both mistakes and can now properly do it correctly and you know, resolve some white ink issues. I've had to do it numerous times on both machines. And, you know, at this point, it is what it is. It's something you're going to have to do if you don't constantly run them. Sediments in the white ink do settle. And once they get sucked in there, you know, the little holes in your print head are so minute that it doesn't take much to block them. So you need to be able to break those things down. All of these chemicals work fairly well for me. I've used isopropyl alcohol. I've used regular water. I try not to use anything too caustic on it. But they will solve the problem. If you're printing a lot or not a lot, these are all the things that I think you should definitely have on deck. Have an extra pump, have cleaning solution, have swabs, have dampers. I wouldn't say that you need to go the route of having an extra set of lines or an extra print head, most of the time I think you can salvage the print head unless you do something drastically to damage it by forcing something through it or whatever the case may be, you know, just really bad head strike or you've scratched the shit out of the bottom of it. I don't see a real need for you to have an extra print head on deck. That should last you for a year, 2 years of printing if you properly take care of it. So if you like this video and some of the other videos that I posted, click the like button or subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to try to answer some questions that I've run into in regards to the t-shirt brand, making your own t-shirts, running your own t-shirt business, starting off with DTG, what I've learned in DTF. I've done sublimation, I've done HTV transfers, I've done inkjet transfers, I've done sublimation transfers. I've kind of done most of them, everything except for solvent print transfers. I haven't bought into any of that stuff. But feel free to leave a comment on something you'd like to know or a question you may have, and I'll do my best to answer.